But let's move into the final topic. This one's going to be sort of quick. We're going to be talking about Ty Lue, Adrian Wojnarowski at Woj ESPN. If you guys don't know who he is, a very underrated beat writer. Not a guy, not a lot of followers. So
he needs to get more connections in the business, though. I think he could be something special.
Does he have as many connections as Sham? That's a huge question.
Yeah, he's pretty pathetic at 2.95. I don't want to give him too much credit. 2.95. Million followers. But Woj tweeted, the Lakers are proceeding towards an offer to Ty Lue in the coming days and have no plans to introduce new candidates into the head coaching search process, league sources tell Ramona Shelburne and me, and that's after new Suns coach Monty Williams signed with the Suns for 5 years. So those were the two guys that were really big for the Lakers in looking in their coaching search was Monty Williams and Ty Lue, and now it seems like Ty Lue is going to be the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. So he's going to be reforming the tag team duo of Lue and James in Los Angeles. And let's talk about our thoughts for that one, because when I first heard it just made me kind of laugh.
Yeah, I mean,
because Ty Lue's going back to the place he got stepped over. He's going back to the place that.
But he's already got. He won a ring there, and he won a ring with LeBron. So now he's there with LeBron.
Well, but
how does
two
this
rings
not equal rings?
Cancel out.
Oh,
I've got one question for Ty Lue. Like one question. There's only one other guy that truly knows the answer to this question.
Yeah.
How does LeBron's coattail feel? Because that's a question I'd really like. James Jones is the only one that I truly know the answer to that question. But like to me, I see this and it's like I get it. I get why you're doing it. You're gonna make LeBron happy. Although it's like you hear all the things where like, well, LeBron's gonna try to stay out of the. Just don't feed me that BS. Don't feed me it. LeBron is in the room now that Magic Johnson is out. It is GM LeBron or La GM, as we love calling him. And it's just, this to me, I feel like is a good move if you're happy that LeBron is in LA. It's a terrible move for the Lakers' future overall. Because I don't think it equals rings for LA.
But how is it a bad move for them going forward? That's what I'm saying. It's not like Ty Lue is like sabotaging the other players on the team.
No, but I'm saying look at Ty Lue after LeBron left.
Yeah,
like he got fired because he's not. To me, it's like
LeBron left.
Yeah, because because
the owner was reminded of the man who was LeBron James.
Well, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. To where yes, this team's a little different than Cleveland. That Cleveland team was a little bit more depleted than what this Laker team is. But yeah. I feel like if you took Ty Lue and put him on the Laker coaching staff the year before LeBron came to LA and switched him and Luke Walton, I feel like Ty Lue would have been doing the same exact like spot that Luke Walton had that team. I don't think they get any better with that. I think that it's only staying the same or getting worse with Ty Lue. I'll stay staying the same because I don't think he's worse than Luke Walton, but I don't think he's exponentially better than Luke Walton.
I disagree. I think Luke Walton has more of a basketball mind, and this is, I don't want to talk too much about this because of Luke Walton's currently ongoing case with the reporter from I think it was Sportsnet in LA, kind of getting into the Kristaps things. We don't know a ton, and I don't want to talk about it. This guy in glorifying praises if this report is true, because clearly if it is, he's a huge.
I can call him a glorified babysitter.
Yeah.
But I think
we're talking basketball.
I think the biggest thing with it is just I have never been inspired by Ty Lue. When watching Ty Lue coach a basketball game, I fall asleep because Ty Lue looks like he is asleep. And the other thing too is, and this is nothing. I'm not trying to shame or anything like that.
Yeah.
Ty Lue has been a guy who, while coaching LeBron, has had massive anxiety attacks where he's need to step away from coaching. So I just don't see how
it's a lot of pressure coaching LeBron.
Yes, so clearly it showed that he cannot handle it. Yes, because he won a ring does not mean he was successful. That team was not successful because of Ty Lue. It's because they had the best player in basketball at that time in LeBron James. Kyrie Irving, who was also on that team and hit a massively huge shot. And Kevin Love, who was a former All-Star, went out and stopped
He put
Steph
the clamps on Steph Curry.
So, I mean, that was the big thing there was the Warriors took their foot off the gas pedal. LeBron was a monster in those last final 3 games. Yeah. Kyrie hit a massive shot, and Kevin Love stepped up when he needed to. Right? None of that was because of Ty Lue. Ty Lue didn't put them in that situation. Ty Lue was there.
I mean, he didn't.
And that's the thing.
His rotations weren't awful in that series.
Okay, but here's the thing that I will go against that is.
Yeah.
We've seen guys now outside of the Ty Lue system and outside of the LeBron system play much better than they have ever before in their career. George Hill looks great in Milwaukee, and Rodney Hood looks great in Portland. These guys getting second chances on teams that actually incorporate them in the correct way and give them shots and opportunities clearly work out better in other places. And I don't think that's massively because of Ty Lue. I think it's more because of the guy that's on the team in LeBron James. I don't think Ty Lue does anything specifically that makes me go, wow. I don't think this guy's a basketball genius. I don't think he's a mastermind. And I don't really know if he really gets his guys up to play around him. I think that was something that I kind of you kind of saw was lacking from the Cleveland Cavaliers as well. Because, I mean, you look in at least the Eastern Conference Finals, the Boston Celtics series, they weren't getting up to play against Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics Jason Tatum led team. Like this team was not getting up. They were not getting ready. They were not getting amped up to go take down this team. I don't think Ty Lue can convince these guys to rally the troops and go out and win every single night. But I just don't see it.
That's not why he was hired. He was hired to make LeBron happy.
He's hired because he's a friend of the players.
That doesn't mean it's good, though.
And
it doesn't mean it's bad.
It's bad.
I think it's bad.
Front officing.
It may not be ideal for your situation, but when you have LeBron James, you have to coach LeBron James. And LeBron James doesn't want a basketball savant out there. LeBron doesn't want pop. That's not his goal.
And then we're going to get Pop. So
no, but my point being, he doesn't want
Brad Stevens.
He doesn't want a controlling head coach. He doesn't want someone who's going to try to tell him they know more basketball than he does. He wants someone who's going to be on his side on things, who's going to agree with him, who's going to be like, hey, LeBron, maybe we should try doing this. Not LeBron, this is your thing. You need to do X, Y, and Z. That is his job on the team. And that is exactly why he's the perfect fit for this team, because nobody else in this team matters. It's just, can you keep LeBron James happy? Because when LeBron James is happy and you put pieces around him, they have a very good chance of winning games. And it's very simple.
But here's the thing. They might have a chance to win more games than they did this year, but that's not because of Ty Lue. And that's not really because you're doing it because you're getting rid of the roster that did not fit around LeBron James. Now that LeBron's healthy and you're putting the roster around him, that's why you're winning games. It's not because you changed the head coach.
I think it matters.
I think you could have taken a stand if you were the front office and be like, no, we're not firing this guy. You can work with him.
But what did Luke Walton show you other than he makes terrible fucking decisions?
I'm not saying Luke Walton, but I'm just saying Ty Lue is not that's like going out.
Ricky was saying you're only getting worse from switching from Ty Lue
same
to
or
Luke.
Worse.
Yeah. So why do you think that Luke
say.
Walton is on the same or worse than him?
I think he's the same just because I think he's a little bit better, at least from a head coaching standpoint, just because I thought that he could connected more with the locker room and roster better. This is pre-LeBron, because clearly it did not when LeBron was there.
He did not connect well with veterans at all.
But I think before LeBron got there, the Lakers did have a connection. They did have this camaraderie that shined through that locker room before LeBron got there. And I think that did have to help with Luke Walton. Luke Walton probably let them play open and free and do what they wanted on the floor. And I think that was something that really did contribute to their growth as players. Lonzo, B.I., Kuzma, those guys were helped by what Luke Walton was doing out there. And I think we would never be able to see that. We would not be able to see that from Ty Lue. And yes, he didn't really get a shot in Cleveland to do that with a younger team or a different team. But I still don't think it was he would have that ability. I don't think he is this guy that has this strong voice in the locker room that can really reach people. And Luke Walton, maybe he can't reach everybody, but he was at least able to reach younger players. Yeah. And I think with Ty Lue, he's able to reach LeBron James and LeBron James only. Yeah. And I think that's just because he's speaking LeBron James's language of whatever you want. And
he's not going to push LeBron.
Yeah, I
think he pushes LeBron to succeed. I don't think he tries to be smarter than LeBron, which I think a lot of coaches, you want to be the point of authority as the head coach. You want to be the guy who knows more than everybody else. And when you're coaching LeBron James, that's just not true in 99 out of 100 cases. I think Luke Walton trying to write up plays for LeBron. Luke Walton trying to, say schematically, we should be doing X, Y, and Z. When you have LeBron James in that locker room, you also have Rajon Rondo, who everybody, by all accounts, is smarter than most head coaches in the league as well. And I think that the combination of those two egos basically put it on Luke Walton, being like, dude, you're not even the first smartest or the second smartest guy in this room.
Well, you need to take a seat. That's why I look at LeBron and of course, don't know LeBron, don't know his attitude, but the way you're talking right now, I would, if that was how like it happened, I would look at that and go, well, you're, in my mind, a bad teammate. Because like in my mind, when the coach-player relationship, it's not one of like the coach is like, do as I say, this is what we're doing. It should be an open conversation. But I feel like most times with LeBron, when he's clashed with a coach, it's because it's not an open conversation. And that's the good with Ty Lue. Ty Lue can argue with LeBron, but it's a conversation, and that's the good of it. But the bad of this is that I feel like my mind is circling while you guys were giving your points, and there's two things that came up from what you guys were saying.
Sure.
Number one, I want to know who in the front office. Is this a Genie Bus move, or is this a Rob Pelinka move? Because if it's a Rob Pelinka move, I look at this, and this could be the thing we trace back to of why he gets fired as the GM of the Lakers, because the big question is...
I just don't know how he's already hasn't been.
That's a great question.
The big question is he going to be able to bring in the players to play with LeBron? Like, people don't even have confidence in him to do that. And the second thing I think, and I want to throw this question out there, is, isn't it funny that Monty Williams had a choice between the Lakers and their bright future and the dumpster fire known as the Phoenix Suns, and he chose the Phoenix Suns and that terrible front office.
The one thing 5 years guaranteed cash.
No, I know,
yeah,
but
that's the thing.
If I'm talking just situation, I know the money plays into it.
No, he chose the situation where he wasn't going to get fired after 1 year of bad performance.
That's the thing that I just want to clarify is we don't know what the contract situations were.
Yeah.
So if the Lakers were offering him 3 years of $12 million. And the Suns clearly wanted him if they fired Igor and realized that the Lakers were going to hire him. They might have offered him an offer that he cannot refuse. So I don't think it was strictly just Suns versus Lakers. This is a guy that had to step away because of personal issues, Monty Williams, unfortunate issues. Yeah. And now he's finally getting this opportunity where he's getting a guaranteed role or at least guaranteed money to help out his family. So I do not think that this is just strictly a Lakers versus Suns thing from a roster standpoint. I think this is just the fact that the Lakers might have not made the same offer that the Suns were because the Suns were more desperate than the Lakers.
And that's true, but there's part of me that also brings in the situations of things. And of course, Monty Williams could be like the mindset of like, hey, working with a younger team and developing them, that's more my jam. And if that's the case, then sure, I can see why. But I find it funny that the guy who had the decision chose to stay away from the drama that usually comes when LeBron James is in town. So I feel like this is a move that the Lakers have no choice. They have to make this move by bringing in Ty Lue because it's like, who else are you going to bring in? Who else is going to fit with
Monty?
LeBron?
One last note on Monty.
Go ahead.
He was also an assistant coach for James Jones. So they have a great relationship
Who's
already.
in the Suns front office.
Correct.
I think the one thing that stands out to me, though, is there's not any great coaching options. And a lot of Chicago fans were just pissed off that they extended Jim Boylan. But it's like, who else are you going out to get? Who else is available? There are no guys that are really standing out to me.
Who them Spurs got that seating chart right?
There's one guy that
Boylan a disciple of Popovich?
Yeah. And there's a guy that's getting an interview right now for the Cleveland job who's a Popovich assistant. Yeah. The thing that sticks out to me, though, and this is the point that I want to make, is if you look at Jim Boylan, there's not a better option out there if you're the Chicago Bulls because he clearly showed later in half of the season that he's connecting to the locker room. Yeah. And he may not be connecting to the fan base. He may not be connecting to the media, but he is connecting to the players. And that's the only thing that matters because that's the people that he needs to reach. Yep. And if he's reaching to the players, that can then lead to the reaching the fan base and reaching the media. That's the biggest thing. And you saw spurts of it. Yeah. So I don't think it's bad to reach out to Jim Boylan because there are no hot, sexy coaching options out there. So that's the reason why Jim Boylan being extended is fine. And I look at the Lakers, and yes, there might not be a better option than Ty Lue. That's fine to me. But I just think that the fact that LeBron is running this coaching search and that it's all dependent on LeBron James is pretty BS. And yes, I understand that you want him to be happy and that you want him to be playing his best.
But he's a player, not the GM.
Yes, but also the thing, too, is that it's just more about getting that guy. If LeBron's this smart of a player and all you need is a guy who just needs to be able to get out of LeBron's way, there is still a better option out there in a guy who can realize how to deal with player egos, learn to realize how to deal with LeBron, and realize that just letting LeBron do what LeBron best will work. And that guy is sitting on the Golden State Warriors bench, and it's Mike Brown. I don't know why he was not offered for this job. I don't know why he was not interviewed. Maybe he doesn't want a head coach coaching job. But this was a guy that has been coached in LA before, wasn't successful, but he also had a shit roster. Yeah. Wasn't successful, has worked with LeBron James before, has worked with egos, has been working with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, DeMarcus Cousins, and Kevin Durant for the past year, and has been on that assistant coaching team for at least the past 5 years. And then finally, the thing is that just like he's a guy that his commands respect. I mean, Mike Brown is not a guy to be fucking around with.
He's a guy that
that's the reason why.
I know that they're the best team in the NBA, but he stepped into a finals game to head coach a game while Steve Kerr couldn't coach it.
I think that's the reason he hasn't left is because he thinks Kerr's health issues may continue on, and he may just be the guy who is the incumbent to the head coach.
Maybe, but I think that the thing with Mike Brown is just I look at him. And I just think that the only reason why he might not have is because him and LeBron might not have gotten along in 2009. So that means they can't get along in 2019. And that's LeBron's guy. And I think that's the only reason why he did not even get extended an interview. Because I think that he's a qualified candidate.
That's possible.
The one thing I do want to circle back to, because you brought it up, and I'll be really quick, is when you brought up Boylen, I agree with you. There was no one else that we could hire. And our boy Mike 2K hit us up on Twitter when Boylen got extended and said, I'm going to cry for a bit. But the thing I'm thinking in that sense, and I put a gif of The Rock saying it's going to be okay.
You use GIFs?
I use them all the time.
Yeah, it's annoying.
But I said, I'm hoping he's the guy to develop the guys and toughen up the team for the next 2 years. Then we can get the championship level coach, and that guy can take us over the edge. And with the Lakers, they're not in that same situation, obviously. That was just me throwing that on because I didn't get to say it in the Bulls segment. But for this, it's I'm in the middle because I can see why it's a good thing for Ty Lue to be on this team as a coaching staff because you got to make LeBron happy. In order to win with LeBron, he needs to be happy. I'm going to say he's a diva like that. But obviously, a lot of stars, when you get to that point in your career and you get that high,
when you're the best player in the league and have been for your entire life, it's hard to
some
not
would
have
still
an
debate.
ego.
Some would say maybe Kevin Durant's number one, or trying to eclipse or has eclipsed LeBron James, especially with this last year in LA. But it's your main goal with the Lakers is make LeBron happy. This makes LeBron happy. Now the question is, can you bring in those pieces, or is next year just going to be last year, but with Ty Lue instead of Luke Walton?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing. It's just roster construction.
Because if they don't bring anyone in, then I'm seeing they'll throw contracts at guys like Lance Stevenson and Rajon Rondo. I'd like Rondo, though, so I'm not going to say it with that kind of condescending nature that
Thank you.
I was doing.
But I don't think
him
and LeBron got along.
No, but they threw these guys, and of course, JaVale played up.
Yeah,
but
it was healthy.
But it's to me, are they going to get Anthony Davis? Are they going to get a Kawhi to come over? Are they going to get somebody? And my answer to that right now is no, because I don't believe in Rob Pelinka and this GM and this front office to do so for LeBron.
Yeah, I don't think Jeannie has too much of a touch on controlling the basketball side. I just don't think she's just more of a person that's just I'll let the people who I'm hiring,
trust the business.
Yeah,
more.
trust the business. I think that's really been her motto alongside, and then I think that's the reason why she hired Magic was because Magic Johnson has been able to do that before.
Family friend as well.
Yeah. And I think she was kind of put in a bad spot of him just I'm not going to be here no more. But I think that what's probably going to end up happening is her brother's probably going to take over the basketball side of operations because he's been a part of that front office for a while. And I think it's probably going to be him and Jerry West's kid because Jerry West's kid's been, I think, doing their draft for the past couple of years as well. So I wouldn't be shocked if her brother and Jerry West's kid,
his dad.
His dad's still killing it for the
stepped in because I don't see Pelinka being here too long, and the fact that he's still in office is pretty
surprising.
Shocking to me. Final thoughts on the Lakers and Ty Lue. I think it's horrible.
I think it's
bad idea.
If I had to lean good or bad, I would say bad because I think it kills the future of the Lakers while making LeBron happy because I don't think they'll pull in the pieces to be successful with LeBron.
I don't think he's creative. I don't think he's a motivator. I don't think he's exciting. I don't think he's enough of a guy to lead that locker room.
I think he's one of the best locker room coaches in the league.
Okay.
I think that's exactly why you hire him. You hire a player's coach because you want to attract free agents who want to play for a team where they're going to have more say than they normally would. Are you telling me that's not an attractive prospect for free agents?
I think
you get to play with LeBron James. You get to play with a coach who has not only won a ring in the league, but won a ring coaching. Also, is one of the most openly discussing coaches as far as how the team runs things behind closed doors.
I just don't think that's enough.
I think that's an attractive thing for a team.
It depends.
For players.
It depends on who you're bringing in, because if you're bringing too strong of a minded players, then it could
not
just
Jimmy Butler, please.
Yeah, well, I think it could. If you bring two strong of minded players in there, to go alongside of LeBron James, I don't think Ty Lue can step in and then figure that out. And then I think you can easily cause
there's no decision there.
I think you can easily cause a rift in the locker room with Ty Lue being a head coach, because I don't think he'll be able to solve it. Now the fact that you're right that he might be able to keep guys happy, that's fair, but I also think he might be able to be stepped over.
Last question I'll throw to you, Dave, because you've been on the kind of defending Ty Lue.
Gotta step over.
So the question that I'm going to ask is basically this.
Yeah.
Do you think Ty Lue is going to be able to develop the young core for these Lakers?
Job.
Well, as the coach, it is.
Nope.
I would say it is. Like, if this core does not develop under Ty Lue,
what if they get traded tomorrow?
No, and I'm saying, like,
then that's not his job.
If this core plays games for this team, can he develop this core? I don't think he can.
I don't see any reason he can't. I mean, he's still a good coach. Like, there's
what have you seen that he's a good coach?
I don't
like. Is that ring him? Is that ring is he the reason they won that ring?
I understand.
Ring?
He was a part of a team.
Yeah.
But it's still being in a playoff heavy team, having those performances, understanding the pressure, going through all that shit, and then going there and coaching through all of that again. Like I think you're short. I think you're dismissing it off as like he's a coattail rider.
What am I missing is what I'm asking. Like what have you seen from him?
Killing me here. All I'm saying is he deserves respect as a coach because he's been there, done that. He deserves respect because as a player, he's been there and done that. So he has experience that he can impart on these younger kids that they don't have. He has experience going through the league, going through that whole process. As a head coach, he's the best locker room guy out there available for people. So I'm not understanding what you're missing.
He can relate. He can relate to players. That's fine.
Do you want me to say like he draws X's and O's real good as a coach? Like his whiteboard work is fucking pristine.
I'm just saying that I don't think that the fact that he can relate to those guys is enough, because I don't think he can at least lead those guys.
Like
just because you can be their buddy does not like if you're
friend versus mentor. I get it.
Yeah, I don't like if he was a dad.
Yeah,
I think he'd be one of those dads that's like, oh, he's your dad. He's your dad. He lets you drink in the basement. But then if your dad tried to come down and yell at you about drinking in the basement, you'd laugh at him.
Get the hell out of here, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's the guy that can really be that guy who's, oh, you're cool with him, but you also respect him. I think you're just like, oh, that's Greg.
Especially when these young kids were writing diss tracks at each other before Papa LeBron came in.
I think that's
and somehow you think it's going to be worse than Luke Walton having no control over these young kids. Luke Walton not knowing how to run rotations. Luke Walton not knowing when to call timeouts. I'm not saying it's worse.
Wait, I'm not saying it's worse. I'm just saying you're going from Walgreens water to CVS water.
You're staying the same.
There's no difference.
I mean, at least one of them has like head coaching experience, and you know that counts for something. I'd like to think.
I mean, Luke Walton had head coaching experience before he took over for LeBron, though.
He was a glorified babysitter.
No, I'm saying before he took over for LeBron.
Yeah, for one whole year.
That's the same as Ty Lue.
Ty Lue was
Ty Lue had a year and a half.
A little different.
Yeah.
A little different. Give the man respect.
Final thoughts? Anything?
I just think it's a bad move for the future.
Dave?
No, I'm good.
I think it's not.
I don't understand. What do you think the future is going to be screwed up by? I'm sorry.
I think this is going to be something where, of course, this plays into LeBron's decision, but I feel like this will be, once LeBron's time's done in LA, it'll just be like, well, shit, what do we do now? And it's like, oh, we didn't plan for post LeBron, and which no one does plan for,
because you don't have to.
Eventually,
no, your job when you have LeBron James is to win. And if you're not doing that, no one cares. No one's going to be like, man, they did a really good job prepping themselves for when LeBron left the town. They'll be like, no, they really didn't focus all their assets on winning when they had LeBron James.
I'm glad you said that, just because I don't think they can win with Ty Lue. That's where it boils down to.
Okay.
So that's it. I don't think that he's that guy to rally the troops, get them together, and win the finals. and keep them together for 82 games. He was able to do it after David Black got fired. He was able to do it for 24 games, 54 games, something like that.
Yeah.
I think David Black got like 54.
I don't think he got that many.
Maybe he didn't.
He got fired pretty early.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like 27.
Honestly, that was our first full time together in this room, all three of us.
I just think
Talking about that. Wow.
I just don't think that he's a guy that can take that team from game 1 to game fucking 96 or something and take them all the way through and lead them to the promised line. I just don't think he's that guy.
And it just goes back to what I said, like the whole thing of Ty Lue, Luke Walton. Doesn't freaking matter if you're not bringing in the guys to play with LeBron.
Yeah,
which I don't think they will.
So much more important.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
and this might not matter if they do get Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard, because then if Ty Lue doesn't win, then it's 100% on Ty Lue.
Yeah.
Unless injuries happen. But anyways, that's going to do it for the Fast Break Podcast. Let us know your thoughts on Ty Lue and anything else that we've talked about on this podcast down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out patreon.com/mostpodcast if you want to help us out, support us, get an upgrade for the studio. Check that out and become a patron either at the bronze, silver, or the gold tier. We appreciate that. We're going to have so many patrons on this month. It's going to be an absolute blast. Go Nuggets.
Go Blazers.
Go Sixers.
Go Raptors too. Go Kawhi. Hopefully Kyle Lowry's not ass anymore. But anyways, that's going to do it for the Fast Break Podcast. For Ricky Widmer, for Dave Oster, I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time.